Today, a federal judge will determine if the Trump administration will need to halt its construction plans for the new ballroom. Maryland Representative Jamie Raskin introduced a bill that would make it harder for President Trump to renovate the White House. And we want to welcome the congressman on today to explain his legislative proposal. The bill is called the People's White House Historic Preservation Act. What specific oversight does this bill impose that the White House currently doesn't face?
Well, thank you for having me, Michelle. Right now, it's not clear that the White House has got to go through the general historical and architectural review that any other federal building would have to go through. So this closes that loophole and guarantees that before this president or any president in the future decides to take a bulldozer to a federal building and just renovate it according to his or her own specifications, that it's got to go through the general process that we accept for all federal buildings. And so right now, we're hopeful that the White House will engage in this ex post facto conversation, at least with the relevant boards, but we want to make sure this never happens again.
And we were looking at some of the demolition video. The East Wing has already, as you mentioned, been torn down. How much of a concern is there that the Trump administration will still move forward with the project, regardless of what any judge's ruling is, or if your bill were even to pass?
Well, if the bill passes, then it becomes federal law, and we could get an injunction against a president. Of course, you're right that, you know, a lawless and incorrigible president might decide to just proceed apace regardless of what the law says. It becomes a lot more difficult if you've got federal court injunctions there. And so what this president has done has been essentially to exploit some ambiguity in what the law is today, and we need to clarify that and specify it going forward, because the bottom line is it's not the president's house, it's the people's house. It's not private property, it's public property, and it should be governed by public law and regulatory process.
With Republicans in control of the House, it could be a real challenge passing this bill. We haven't heard many GOP lawmakers really express opposition to the president's project. Are you hearing anything from them in private?
Well, all I've heard from a handful of my Republican colleagues is that this has been a political disaster for them. So I think that reflects the underlying reality that most Americans consider the White House, like the Capitol, like the Supreme Court, to be public property, and don't want an individual person who's in there for a relatively short period of time in the scope of American history to be able to radically change its character. I think they believe that all of the pictures of the bulldozer at the East Wing of the White House and the inability to assure the public that artifacts of historical and architectural value are being properly preserved at the Smithsonian have been a political nightmare for them and a real disaster. And again, I think that what that reflects is our collective sense as a country that these are public objects and public buildings. They do not belong to the person who happens to be in office at any particular moment.
Are there any other ways, Congressman, that Congress can assert oversight in case this bill doesn't pass?
Well, your point is correct that we would need to get some of our Republican friends to cross over to stand with us. So far, we have dozens of people who've joined my bill, but alas, no Republicans yet. If we had some, we could go ahead and call a hearing to analyze how all of this transpired and how it happened. But we are picking up major sentiments of regret across the political spectrum that this is the way everything has gone down, and that we're going to get a ballroom the size of 2 consecutive football fields put into the White House, and essentially overwhelming and diminishing what's left of the original White House.
All right, we'll be watching closely to see what happens with this bill. Congressman Raskin, thank you so much for your time today.